Mr. Duck Rose.
All of these holes make it difficult. Section 2. Breakthrough.
Hey, I don't know the rights. Y'all know that. And you know, what's funny? I tried to call myself trying to get started and get here. I'm trying to do this like Sundays on 8 o'clock or whatever, man. I call myself trying to get in here and get it in or whatever, And I had to take my hat off to these men and women that's already that's been out here in this field doing this kind of stuff, as they calling, or this is what they wanted to get into from was interested in as far as a job or whatever, something that they wanted to do, for employment, entertainment industry. I took advantage of this because it's just something. It wasn't about the entertainment for me, or it isn't. But we gonna take advantage of it to his all levels, as much as we can. But I started doing this No Fan podcast, man. The idea came to me some years ago, even before all this, became so accessible. And I even bought one of those podcasts for dummies book some years ago when this first started popping off. But it wasn't because of the popularity type thing. I just wanted to talk to some people that really wanted to dialogue about some things, as far as sports related, and and with this show. First of all, let me start off, man. I'm sorry. I'm your host. I go by New, just a simple NEW. I'm so excited. I'm excited right now because we just got I've been without power for 4 days, so I'm looking kind of scruffy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna put a post up later on my FB and see, because I haven't had hair since the age of 29, and I was thinking maybe I can catch one of them cats. I got a little growth now. I can catch one of them cats, grab me one of them little things, you pull over and get the little, faded up, see if I can catch me some waves for a minute. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, but just started just trying to do some dialogue, man. Just dialogue with some people that was really interested and really wanted to talk about the game, not just the highlights, not just the exciting. This is No Fan. We here to talk about, everybody. Ain't nobody off the record. I mean, nobody's untouchable. Whether it's a fan favorite or not, this is what we're here to do. We're here to just give some pure juice, and not just the analytics and the metrics and the stats. We like to think that here at No Fan, man, we hear dead people. We see dead people. It's a sixth sense over here. We talking about the stuff that you can't put on the stat sheet. See what's in the hearts of men. It's two sides to a story. It's interesting too. I just posted on my No Fan Slappy post in FB. My man AB, I just now watched the interview that he had gave, sitting with on the pivot, and it was interesting, man. The guy, he is who he is, man. But the dude was 100, man. The dude was 100, and I always felt that about that guy, the energy that he gave, man. And just to show you how bad my man, he had Ryan Clark silent, man. He put him on blast, man. But they handled it cool though. They handled it cool, There's always two sides to a sword. That's what we go get later on in the show when we close this up, man. This is what we do now. We go keep it a buck, and most definitely we always stay on code. I'm starting up tonight. I had put a post up again in my No Fan Sports groupie slappy page on FB. Here I'm local. I'm a local boy. Well, we local to who we are. They know who we are. This it's only one other kind of emblem on a baseball cap that's got more may have just as much notoriety, if not more. It's that NY. But if you go and look up some of my posts and different things like that. Oh, by the way, man, please, man, hit the like button, subscribe, share this with whomever. It's already public. Just share it. You know, come back. Definitely subscribe. I got to finish up the description. I wanted to add a video that I received via Facebook on about the SWAC. It was a conversation between Reggie Theus and I forget the other gentleman's name who was interviewing him, but it was the other side of the story. But we get back, we get to that. We closing out on that. Okay, so anyway, I posted the Pistons. I'm interested in the Pistons again. I don't like the brand of basketball that they're playing right now. Um, I really hate it. I think the women's games is more exciting. In my view now, as opposed to the men's basketball. And it's funny. I know everybody will be like, "Oh, what you talking about?" Well, no disrespect, but the women's game is more, like it's kind of like back to, they got still a lot of back to the basket play, which to me, and I'm sure you get a lot of the big men who ever played and back in the day. And it was entertaining to me back in the day. You at least got a good 4-on-5 on both ends of the court, and it's depending on who you play, you're getting a 5-on-5. So what I mean by that is your competition to play the head-to-head matchups was gonna be, you deep. You're going Bird, Magic, Paris, Kareem. You know what I'm saying? You got some deep matchups going there. Cornbread was in there, Worthy. You got some matchups in there. You come to some games and you will see, some head to heads from key all damn near all 5 positions, at least 4. Unlike what you see today, I just don't like the way the game is played. The game is played blood to art. Now I'm speaking about all of this, and it's not just me, an old man era type of thing, but I'm speaking about it because the lineup that I put together or that I threw out there on my page and my personal page too as well. Because like I said, we local, we 313 here, bad boys. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was is that we talk about how the game's played and what we're looking at and who we're going up against. And everyone, if you followed any of my posts or seen any of my posts, everybody know I can't stand Casey. I think Casey should have been fired a long time ago. It is now, since he's been a Piston head coach, that I do realize why it was okay for Toronto to get rid of him right after winning Coach of the Year or what have you. I don't know how he did that. Well, no, I know how he did it because he had some veterans that he relied on, and that's who he particularly liked to stick with. And so-called guys that them 2-scoop guys, the 110% guys, expect a lot out of young men. Don't get me wrong, I expect them doing 110% as well, but I don't think he knows how to get it out of them because it doesn't reflect in his play. I mean, his coaching. So a good friend of mine, one of my day ones, man, he, invited me down. He got some awesome seats downtown, Little Caesars Arena. We went down there and we actually sat in and watched the game, man. And for the first time in my life, dude, I watched a live basketball game or any basketball game, even on television. And a coach has just had me totally confused. Totally confused where I don't know what he's doing, how he's doing it, substitution patterns, player combinations, riding too many players too long, bench too long, he don't know how to shorten his bench up for whatever it's just too much. I can go, the list can go on and on. So we got a bunch of people here, it's a bunch of, personal friends and everything else. Some people here is excited and they have right to be, because especially of late, man, Pistons have made some real nice moves. Thus far, I'm somewhat pleased with my man Weaver. Only thing they did wrong to me is draft that damn Killian Hayes, and I can't wait till they get rid of him. 2 players, and this post just so happen to get out there. It's public, so anybody can see it. If they just so happen to pick it up and they hear me say this, I don't really be dogging nobody's bags. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad these cats getting these bags, but we had no family. We just got to keep it 100 though. I mean, that's what we're here for. This ain't on my man bag, but My goodness, man. I don't see what the draft issue was with Killian Hayes. I don't even know why he was drafted. To me, he like a poor man's Roy Sparrow. And let's go take some of you don't. I know many of you don't even know who that is or was, or to the with the relationship to what we're talking about. But he just don't give you nothing, especially for today's brand of basketball. Wasted draft pick. Um, and my man that they call him Beef Stew. And like I said again, these things can get out. I know people catch shit and then they, stretch it and put it up on FB and, single stuff out. But I'm gonna say this again. So hopefully, if they catch it on a regular, the full thing, nothing against you personally, nothing against your bag. But the super poor man's Ben Wallace rendition that they trying to get out of my man, that ship is coming sail, man. Ben Wallace wouldn't even be Ben Wallace in this era. It's a different era, and we gotta let go of that. And I find a lot of Detroiters we kind of like hang on to a lot of old stuff, you know, but not really realizing what they were really doing. Like, and I'm not saying this. I'm echoing my main man Isiah Lord Thomas when he said that they were Golden State before Golden State was Golden State. And first thing people don't nobody shoot like Steph. Game was played different, but if you think about it, man, they didn't have no post play. They just had, they had a stretch center who was out there popping threes, man. You know, they was already stretching. They didn't have no post game in the post game era. I had someone to question me about that or debate me about that before, and the first thing they go come up was Adrian Danley and Mark Aguirre. But AD did what he did for us for that particular period of time, but it was a section of the game. The reason why he and Isiah had that beef, or he has a beef with Isiah, because they trying to move forward. AD was a little thing in the past. He was that guy. Don't get me wrong. AD was a man back in the day, but the game was somewhat in a transfer. You know, so it was moving forward. So when they did get Aguirre over and then Mark Aguirre, oh my God, one of these days. Matter of fact, I'm gonna echo myself. I'm gonna make a note to self. Um, um, Got to do a podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast on, man, those individuals that were so Mark Aguirre, Larry Bird podcast. Um, those individuals, man, that single handedly put programs on the map. We'll talk about that later. But so it's just that we obligated. We obligated, man, and because I'm a Piston fan through and through, and I'm starting to see some things that they are doing is correct, but we got to get another coach. So when I put this lineup together, I'm going to get into the program. When I put this lineup together in my head, I just seen it, and it wasn't nothing that I was thinking about for a long period of time. But my man Marvin Bagley came back, I guess last night. I didn't see the game because, like I said, I haven't had power, and it's hard for me to watch basketball because I don't like the way the game is played. Pistons are probably one of the rare teams that don't necessarily just play. They play a different brand of basketball. When they won championships, they was different than everybody else. So it is just hard for me to watch. Like I said, I like some post play. You just don't see a lot of that now. Matter of fact, you can watch the game and you'll see a big post cat go down there, man, and yeah, my man peeing, and they, ain't nobody even looking, or they don't even know the window open, and the peeing don't take but a hot split second. But so I'm watching this, Beef Stew can go. So Bagley is back, man. Bagley already was, he's heralded. I think he came out of Duke. He was heralded and went out there to Sacramento. Things didn't really pan out well, but he's still a young man, a young, wiry, 6'11", 7-footer. He can get around a little bit, you know what I'm saying, which is cool. So he back. I think they had etched or sketched him or suggested that he, that's what they had, was really banking on to be the starting center, which I don't have any problems with that. And then the Wiseman trade came in, and the young man Durham is doing pretty good. They had him playing center while Bagley was hurt and different things. And the young man Durham, who reminds me of a young man, this guy. If y'all can't see it, I don't know. Like I said though, I got that sixth sense, man. I see dead people. This dude remind me so much of C Webb, raw C Webb, Michigan C Webb. It don't make no sense, man. The mannerism, the body, the physique, the raw, just dude. Yeah, he remind me of C Webb. I like him. So I had Bagley. My five was Bagley. He was a 5/4. Then I had my man Durham as the 4/5. Move my man. What we got my man Wiseman coming in as the actually he fills three positions really. He the 3-4-5. Okay, because I'm gonna say this because I had some folks with me argue mobility in the league now, and then the defense and different things. Like when they did mention some we go get cooked, but they didn't really think about the defense when they were saying this. So I got Marvin Bagley out there. I got Durham, Wiseman, and naturally Cunningham and Ivy. Now the bench, the guys that they, we need a spot up shooter or two to stay there with what they have right now. But naturally the bench, I think they got a piece or two that's already like my man Diablo, I forget his name. I'm sorry, but Imu Diablo, I think it is, or something like that. Very exciting young man. I think he deserves more minutes. I think he deserves more playing time. And he's a good change of pace. It's kind of like an energized bunny to come in behind Ivy, if you ask me. So you're just finding another spot up shooter out there. Now, when I put the team together, I'm talking about we running and gunning, of course. Livers is already playing three, basically 2, 3, 4 already anyway, and he can hit it from outside. And I think a lot of people, they always mention shooters. We go get killed, man. Before they put the 3-point line out there, man, it was guys already shooting them. It was guys that was already shooting them, and still to this day, the highest scoring game happened in 1983 in NBA history, which just so happened the Detroit Pistons was involved in. So it's ways still to get the thing done without relying on the 3-point ball. That's why I got them all on there together, man. They running and gunning. It's rare that you can have three agile, damn near 7-footers, damn near 7-footers on the floor with that type of agility. And then you got a point forward already in Cunningham once he come back off injury, standing like 6'7", 6'8", with a hungry Ivy, 6'5", 6'4", that's trying to kill. I like that lineup. Now, they talking about, well, they don't have no shoot. What you do have shooters? AI wasn't a shooter. He was a scorer. You need scores. My man Donovan Mitchell, he ain't no shooter. He a scorer. And I don't think a lot of you understand the difference between the two. MJ wasn't no shooter. He was a scorer. Okay? And they get things done. And they don't have to just stand out there. Just so happens that my man Steph is a combination of two. He a shooter and a scorer, which is rare. KD, shooter, scorer. Paul Pierce, shooter, scorer. That's rare. But he's a scorer. So I'm riding with Ivy. I like that young lighter. And then the important part of it is, the reason why I also like it is, them some young guys, man. Them some young guys, man, and you ain't gonna be able to. You got to cut them loose, man, and let them run, dude. You got to cut them loose and let them run, man. Something like Magic and with Showtime at the Forum, dude. And then all you gotta do is really go back and just listen and my man, watch that 30 for 30, the Lakers Celtics. Brian Scott and them say how they used to try to get out when Magic get when that fast break was coming. Man, it was showtime at the man, showtime at the Forum, dude. This guy Magic had him in there, baby. Okay, so and then most importantly, this is the biggest piece that y'all missing. Okay, let me backtrack though. Defensively, because they so long and they are agile, we switching at every position. We sliding. So whoever cut to the basket. We sliding. Everybody, we switching. You got bigs that hang out above the arc right now. I mean, and like my man Lopez in Milwaukee, bless his heart, he scores. He be out there popping that 3 too. Get a few post plays in there, but he ain't the focal point. And when you really get down to the brass tacks of it, speaking in Milwaukee, my man Giannis won an MVP. He wasn't no jump shooter. All Giannis did was attack the basket. He stayed active. He just recently picked up a little jump shot. So he was slashing to the basket. Now I'm not saying any of them guys is on Giannis level, but they have the ability to follow behind that structure. So we sliding defensively, everybody switching. So ain't nobody blowing by nobody because we just switching because we so long and agile. Like I put in the post, my man Devin Looney he the center in Golden State, and he's sliding cover whoever coming his way. And we talking about a former Devin Looney. I'm not sure what happened to him. He loses mojo, whatever. But I seen the high school lights of the young man, and I see why they went and got him. He don't play nothing like he played in high school. I don't know if he's nervous still. They just won't cut him loose, or he just scared. Or he just don't want to. Because I heard some interesting stuff from an interview watching my man Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. He was on All the Smoke, and they had a great interview. And I'm not saying these names of these different podcasts, Cloud Chase, anything like that, but I'm the type of cat where and I get credit where credit is due as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I'm listening. It's guys out here. It's interesting. I like to hear other sides of everybody. Different views from different people. But man, it seemed like All the Smoke. They get some good interviews, and they're very, very candid and very open. And the Pivot does as well. Some great interviews as I stated earlier. So I'm like, man, this is what's up. So when they had Mahmoud on there, man, he opened. Oh, I can't fast forward to that because that's going into the closing part of it. But at the end of the day, man, I just looked at that lineup, man. A lineup to me makes a lot of sense. And then what's so funny about it, when I mentioned that, and they talking about it ain't enough room in the post, I'm like, dude, they don't post no more. And a lot of the people that was making them comments, at least in my personal genre, whoever run with me, whoever I run with, it's like it ain't no room, but they want to draft the 7-foot guy that's looking like trying to look like KD, So like I said, I like that lineup. I think it, I really truly think it'll pop off. Hey, like I said, I'm gonna add them at the end. I didn't get time. I was trying to get through this, but I gotta add, man, my sponsors out there: K.New Collections, King Services. Love them. We gotta shout them out. Good looking out. Make sure you check them out. Check out my inboxes. Make sure you check me out and follow me on all the other little what you call those things? Social media outlets. We out there. We trying to get this thing going. And actually tonight I was planning on going on IG, man, but I gotta switch something up a little bit before I get out there on IG like that. Just gotta change something up. But we could be out there in a second. But I do transfer these shows over to various outlets as well. We try Tik Tok out and all the rest of them. But let me go ahead and close this out. And I really, like I said, I wasn't trying to keep too long, but I just had to clarify those things with that that Piston lineup, man. I see, man. I see them running. I see them running like a pack of gazelles in the jungle, man, running for their life. Oh my goodness, man! Even if you look at it in the aspect of my man Paul Westhead and them, and then they's at Loyola Marymount, man, they was just running, man. Bo Kimball was a scorer. He wasn't no shooter; he was a scorer. But they just ran, man. You know what I'm saying? And these guys can run, and they got length. I think you should take a look at that. But we can close this out, man. It's Black History Month. Last what? This is definitely the last Sunday. You only got a couple more days of it, and it was just ironic that was this particular time. And we're gonna close this podcast. So, man, I just got hip um to a lot of this stuff. I hadn't paid much attention to it. It must have slipped by me. I don't know how it got by me like that, but um the NFL and the historical black college, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, man. They they've been collaborating. You know, they've been collaborating. Uh, and this came when to me, man, when they had a combine. So, oh shoot, let me do this before I do that. Let me do this before I do that. Okay, where we at? Where we at? All right. Let me give you these disclaimers. Hey, the views of my. Oh, I'm sorry. Views of my. No fan sports podcast is providing this podcast as a public service, but it is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of No Fan Sports Podcast policy. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute endorsement or recommendation. No Fan Sports product views and expression by guests are their own, and the appearance of the program does not imply an endorsement of them of any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by myself are those of my own, and I do not necessarily reflect the view and they do not necessarily reflect the view of No Fan Podcast or any of its officials. Now, fair use disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107. The Copyright Act of 1976 allowances is made of fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, and news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips balanced in favor of fair use. Okay, I said all that to say, apparently, the NFL and the HBCUs, they partnered up, and this is what really getting me down to, my segment when we just flat out get out there, man. We go keep it a buck, and definitely always stay on code. So this kind of slides right into conversations that I was having with people early and posts I was making when it first transpired when Deion decided to leave Jackson State to go to Colorado. I was a proponent of it, not upset, but more disappointed than I was anything else. And you get a lot of feedback, a lot of kickback. People say, this is man, you can do what you want to do. You go in the bag, boom. I'm not counting his pockets. I'm sure he probably got some money. He may need some more money. I don't know. You can never have enough as far as being a black man in this world anyway, no matter where you at. And I hope soon or later, some of you guys out there realize this. So anyway, he bolts and runs over to Colorado. And this is after when he took the job, man. This the guy told me he was called. Now I'm gonna tell you like this first. So I'm gonna be the first, and if you catch wind of this later, I don't get off into the religious stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you go broadcast what you believe in, and this is what you want everybody, the public, the world to believe, and you let it come out your mouth, I just hold people feet to the fire. That's just how, that's how I am. Not no hate. I just, any encounter I've ever had to deal with, you know, any troubles I get held accountable for it. And I just think everybody deserves the same thing, just get held accountable for it, But he said he was there. He said he was called. And, I know what called me. I don't go to church, but I know what called me. Somebody tell you that, especially coming from someone who claim they worship. So, and this is nothing against them. I mean, do what you do. But if this is the faith, this is what you choose. This is what you choose to tell the world. This is what I believe in you. Because when I speak what I speak, that's the thing with me here, no fan, man. I'm just, it's what I believe. It's nothing fake about what I'm gonna say. You might not agree with me. Most people don't all the time. That's the reason why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for some dialogue with some people that's not just following as fans, groupies or slappies. I'm looking for somebody want to have an intelligent, hard-nosed sports conversation. Don't necessarily have to know it all. Because if you come at me with something that I don't know, I'll quickly tell you I don't know. I'll look it up, and next time we meet, I guarantee you I'll be, well versed with that particular topic or subject. So, but you call, and I know you can see that flag behind my head, man. It wasn't no coincidence. You said you was called to a place that needed help, and them institutions, that's how it was put together. They was put together because it was a group of people out there that needed help, trying to fit in within the new world that was given to them. Okay, so now they didn't partner up. They got it's a legacy bowl they put together. So basically, what happened was the HBCU Hall of Fame has partnered up now with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They got a little segment down there in Canton Pavilion. They come in and it'd be like a mini Hall of Fame setting, something similar to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Same amenities, same everything, just probably just on a smaller scale. And they recognizing, they got a bowl game they put together for the historical Black college and university athletes, which is a nice gesture. And this is, a lot of this movement, they just put this together, I think in 2021. And naturally, a lot of that movement, we got to give it to Deion. As far as that's concerned, we got to give it to Deion. Deion went out there on a mission. He said he wanted to, they needed some more attention and felt they was underdeserved. And I totally agree with him. So when the man said he was called, that's what I was riding with. And so me being disappointed in him is because I know, I know what's needed. We've been those institutions. Those institutions was created because they were deprived. And if you truly look at something like the wealth gap and different things like that and understood it, you wouldn't feel or say some of the things you say or do. I mean, because apparently you're not understanding how that was created and how it's continued. Okay. So, they, like I said, they got a game they put together. So it says this is read this. The NFL World has scouts in New Orleans at the Saints facility on Monday of 2023. Historically Black College Universities Combine. Scouts from 32 NFL teams are attending the second annual HBC Combine on Monday the 20th, February 20th. This comes in coordination with the head of the HBC Legacy Bowl, Saturday the 25th, an All-Star game supported by my man, the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes 15 and the Mahomes Foundation. Oh, man, which is great, But and then check this out on the back end. So apparently, one of the Chiefs execs found a fourth round pick out of the HBCU and was a hell of a contributor to the Chiefs this year. Cat named Brett Veach. He's the GM now down there in KC. play. He come from a football background. Naturally, tried to play a little football. I think he went to University of Delaware. I think they said, and basically since that, I think what did he say, he played running back, wide receiver, and a special. I guess kick return specialist. Um, and he also played football with my man Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, I think he didn't bounce around NFL a little bit. Matter of fact, my man Veach gave him a job at one point. He played for him. Um, and so you get to that point where not just the legacy game and recognizing the Hall of Fame, the players who's contributed to the NFL, which is roughly about 9%, just a little over 9% of the persons inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame come from some historically black colleges. Now this kind of like is a prelude to, I got a book I'm putting together, man. You can come check it out. Release date right now. We plan on putting it out June 10th, 2023 here in Detroit at the the Hustle and Grind Urban Literary Convention. This is one of the largest world conventions of this matter, and definitely the largest and biggest in Detroit. And we're gonna be there. That's what we're releasing that book at. The title is called "The Evolution of a Black Quarterback." This is a great time to tell that story. And a lot of when putting this book together, a lot of information, and you start digging up information, stuff you may have known, stuff you didn't know, and when you start tying things together, you start putting them together, the puzzle. You start putting the puzzles together. You see these timelines and events and different things, and they not just affect the sports world, but you can see these events actually transpire and kind of culminate with world views and world environment and what's going on out there too. And in this book, we go touch on a little bit of that as well too, just the same. But like I said, here at No Fam, man, we're just trying to get out. Let's have a real conversation. We're trying to get the locker room back. We're trying to get the locker room back. If you just there to collect a check, gain a sponsor, the typical yes man or yes woman, this is not for you. We want to talk to people that we want to talk to some people who are not scared. Okay, that's what we want to talk to. We want to talk to those people. So Dion buzzes up just like that. Jackson State lose revenue. Nobody look at that. They were like, well, he didn't did his job. Such. Man, the man said he was there. He was called. I don't know how long call take, but I do know estimate how long we've been in the position we've been in and still in, just without the chains. I got a good understanding. So we playing catch up. But we can't keep letting our brightest stars walk on and cross the street and take our dollars elsewhere. And nothing against the University of Colorado, because that's what they do. That's what universities do. You hot, you get them, you go get them. And he may, I'm sure you've told whomever he confides in, whether it be wife, good best friend, or old friend, or whatever, or even to his Lord and Savior. He said he was called. It was something. It seemed like to me it was something to taste that he had to have, because you being called, I don't see you leaving, even not within 3 years, and with the I ain't gonna say what little you done, but with what you have done. They deserve much more. And aside for all of that, what I just said, as much as I'm down that man, and I never have been, still not a big Dion fan as far as when they told me he did gold as far as corners. He's not. Matter of fact, y'all don't know nothing about one of the former HBC, not only a HBC Hall of Famer, but he a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Detroit's own Lynn Barney. He went to Southern, I think it was. Okay, so You can't. He ain't. He what? But you said you was called. I'm holding you to the fire because I know we need it. And you guys, and man, that's that young man. If he wasn't built for that, he got some broad shoulders. If he was, look what he got done in that short period of time in 3 years, which was great. I'm not knocking it. But that man got them shoulders. He got them shoulders that, I thought he was there for the long haul. So I was disappointed. So, because that was a big thing, I came across a couple of, I hadn't had a chance to catch up with, but I was like, the female basketball coach at Jackson State. She has some interesting some things to say to some interesting things to say. Where's that at? Oh man, I lost. I hate when that happens. Oh, there it is. She has some interesting things to say, while you there. Okay. So he jets up. Then my man Ed, Ed Reed come out there, and I didn't even realize it. No one realized it at the time. The AD over there is my man, former NBA player Reggie Theus. So Ed say, "Oh, yeah, Coach Bethane Cookman." I don't know. I didn't at the time. I didn't know the history of Bethane Cookman. I knew it was a historical black college. I didn't know the history as far as how it came to be, who started it up. Like I don't know about many of the others. Growing up, and this is nothing against my parents or anything like that, but I didn't really talk about black college. But even though my mother graduated from a historically black college, but I I got caught up in the headlights coming up, even on my little sports team, but then again, that was their era too, you didn't go to the big schools, they really wasn't looking at you, in my opinion. You found a few people found their way here and there, but they just get lost in the sauce. So your goal, you've been tricked into, try to head for those power schools. So the historically black colleges didn't have a lot of the great talent that grew up around them, but they venture off and go elsewhere. you know and in most cases, any college or university that does have a football team, that's their money. So with him deciding to leave abruptly like that, they lost money. So they blame it on the alumni, they blame it on the current staff, but would never talk about economics and the true understanding of the wealth gap. Okay. And we keep bouncing our heads off that, but at some point you gotta sit down and accept what's what, and let's move on. Try to move on and correct it or correct it. Okay, but that led me to this here. So my man Beach and them, they hire, for their little moves, man, do what they do, and they ain't really never left the inner circle. So it's easy for a team owner to pick a person who's within their sanctuary. It's just not a lot of us in their sanctuary. A part of the reason. A part of the reason. Okay. So I said all that to say that should have been had your own. Got to understand wants and needs at all levels, you know. And so the female coach of the basketball team, um, she had some interesting comments she made um, in regards to coaching at HBC. I caught someone here that said coaching at HBCU is not for the weak. This is Tamika Reed who wrote this in her Twitter. You're going to fight battles internally and externally, and if your program experiences any type of success, it will be even harder. I choose to come back for the fight to truly even the playing field, and it's something that's never been done. She further went on and said, "You have to earn stripes to speak publicly about the struggle. The struggle. If you aren't willing to roll up your sleeves and make a difference and demand others to respect us, not by words but by actions, then get out of the way. We got something to do. Our kids are bigger than us." Now, these are the comments that she made in response. I guess, when Ed Reed went on his rant and, eventually turned his job down, or they told him he couldn't have a job. But you had the coach of Jackson State, man. This is she did that um, right after, Deion and them had, that little Deion situation. Can't keep the women fighting for us, man. Y'all got to grow some. For real. Got to grow some. uh, that's just the only way I can put it. You know, can't put it any other way. Okay, but again, like I said, check out the DMs. Follow me on all pretty much most major social media platforms. Like I said, we got the book release coming June 10th. Also with that book release, we're doing a live podcast down there that day. Where there's gonna be several, authors in the industry. It's gonna be a big event. If you're in the area, you should probably try to come on down. We sit down, chop it up, maybe have a debate or two, depends on you when you get there. It's a book event. This is a great group. And obviously, this is not the group that what's that sign say? The saying say, you put it in a book. That's not that group. Okay, that's not that group. But overall, and also I'm gonna add that link of the discussion. There's two sides to a story. Reggie Thea's giving up his side, and again, I didn't know Reggie was involved with Thane Cookman to that degree. I missed a lot of that. But um, terrible situation. Wish it hadn't happened. To be perfectly honest with you, I do. I've always felt like this anyway, even prior to finding out Rick Theus was coach. I mean, AD there. Um, just too much. You know, it didn't make much sense. Okay, but we're gonna wrap this up. Again, I'm your host. I go by New. Make sure you like the channel, No Fan TV. Oh, I gotta put that out there too. Well, I tell you, be so much stuff you have to do. Just so many things I do. But yeah, we go wrap this up and we check you out, man. Love to hear your input. Love to hear your input. Love to hear your input. Make sure you hit the like button too. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.